I'm Kelly and this is Sam, and we live full-time in our self-converted Sprinter van.
We bought a used 2015 Mercedes Sprinter van. It's a 170 wheelbase and it's got the high roof, and it only had 90,000 miles on it. So with diesel, we felt like it was a good deal.
We live in here with our dog Sunny and our foster dog Audi. Okay, welcome into the van. We are in the kitchen space right now. Here you can see we have a pretty colorful kitchen and it has a lot of counter space. We used a butcher block countertop and we did a polyurethane seal on it. So some people don't and then they want to chop on their board, but we have a separate cutting board so we don't need to do that. So it has a nice glossy finish and it has plenty of room to like prepare our food on, and we cook a lot. So it was really important to us to have like a decent sized kitchen. So we have a pretty deep sink and we have a faucet here for our regular tap water. And then we have our filtered water that comes through here, and we have a little bit of storage for like some sponges and things like that. And then we have a Rambo wood stovetop. So this is a propane stovetop. We just have like a little camp stove that we keep underneath our sink, and then we change it out every so often, and it works pretty well. The back one is a little sketchy, but we have a system that works for it. And then in here is this top drawer is our pantry items. So we have some pantry and coffee stuff in here. And then in here is like our silverware. And then we have plates and stuff in here. And then in the bottom one is this massive drawer that has everything. Like we have a blender, a waffle maker, and all of our pots and pans. So it is pretty deep, like I would say maybe 10 inches. So it holds plenty of stuff. And then in here we have more pantry items, and sometimes you have to like block yourself from things falling out, but right now it's pretty steady. We have a sticky tile backsplash. So it looks like real tile, but it was super easy to install. And it's just nice, you can quickly wipe stuff off on it. And then we have these hooks for towels and a little plant for liveliness. Down here we have a small Dometic fridge. It's pretty tiny, like college-sized dorm room fridge tiny. So it is quite hard to fit stuff in there, but we usually have like groceries lying around the van, to be honest. And then up here is like a skincare drawer. That was honestly really important to me because I wanted it to feel like a real house and like have all the toiletries and skincare that I wanted in our apartment previously. And then in here is a junk drawer. So if you live in a house right now or an apartment, you probably have a space where you're keeping like your pens, your tapes, random wires and things like that. So we actually made sure to build that into the van because we knew that that would accumulate over time. And then under here is where we keep our trash and cleaning supplies and a little broom and a fire extinguisher for safety. And then right in the front here, I love this space because it's kind of a collect-all space. We keep our dog's bandana, my bag, and we built in this really cool dog bowl for Sunny where we can just put in his collapsible water bowl in there, and we don't want him to have to bend down to drink water. So we had to build in something where he could comfortably drink his water. And so I really like that space. And then obviously in vans, you need to have a ton of hooks because you need to be able to put stuff there. And then right here is our controller for our heater. We have a heater in the van, which keeps us really toasty in cold temperatures. It is the S-Bar diesel heater, and so we keep that behind our passenger seat. And then we can just easily control this, and right when we walk in the van, we can just turn it on. And then right here is a dimmer switch. So we have puck lights all throughout the ceiling, and then we can just press this on right when we get into the van and then dim it to whatever we want. So we first decided to live in a van after a couple years of being in career type jobs. We were in really long hour workday jobs. So when the pandemic happened, we thought there's no better time than now to save all of our money, work even harder, and buy a van, build it out, and then start traveling. During, I would say, the beginning of the pandemic, we started to seriously look for vans, and we finally found this van, and we took 10 months to build it all out. And we did it with the intention of obviously living it full time and then also being able to do some freelance work and gig work while we're in here. He is a editor and I do digital marketing, so we definitely wanted to be able to do some of that work while we were on the road, as well as maybe some in-person jobs in the future. So right here we are in the entrance of the van. It is actually my favorite part of the van, and it was really important for me to have an open space right when you walk into the van. Obviously we could have used this for a lot more storage, but I thought it was so important to have a place that we could sit, open the sliding door and look out at a nice view, and also just to be able to display artwork and things like that. I also specifically didn't want to really decorate anything in the van before we traveled. I wanted to collect things while we were on our travels. So our plants are from all of our travels. This is from Colorado, and our ukulele that Sam plays quite often. This is just a really fun space to hang out. Usually when we have guests here, they start sitting here and then we make our way to the back of the van. But something really special about this area, down here is Sunny's little bedroom, and we call it his love shack. He has a picture of his best friend in there, and he loves this space. He goes in there, he curls up. It was really important for us also to have a space just for Sunny. So kind of like in our apartment, he had his own little bed in his own area. So now he can just pop on in here. In the side here, we keep an extra piece of wood to make our bed that we can show you later. And then we keep some more storage back there for Sunny's toys and his food and things like that. One really unique feature that we added to this space right here, right before we went full time, is this guest bed situation. So you just pull this out. It can pull out even farther than this, and we take the cushion from the back, the cushion that we don't need, and we put it right here, and it fits a decent size guest bed. My dad, who's 6'1", slept here, and he was somewhat comfortable, he says. So I think it's just a cool option to have when you have guests, because I know some people make them lay on the ground, but we wanted a comfortable space for people to hang out, and it's also kind of a day bed. If you wanted, you could just lay here and look out at the view. And here we are into our shower and bathroom. It is a frameless shower, which means that we get more room on each side in the van, which is really important. We probably ended up saving like 6 inches of space or more, which is essential. You need to use every nook and cranny in the van. And for me, I didn't even really want it to move into the van unless I knew that we'd have some kind of privacy for the toilet and the shower. So I'm so glad that we had this. But now living full time, I could probably live without it. You get a little bit more savage once you live in the van. You can handle things that you didn't think you could. But I really love this shower, especially because we are able to have all of our like shower items in here and not store them somewhere else. I also love that we can like hang our wet clothes and our towels in here. This is a compost toilet. It is the Nature's Head compost toilet. And then we have a teak mat on the bottom, and the shower water drains into a gray water tank. It's a 15-gallon gray water tank. And then we have this little shower head, and we have a water heater, and it's only 2.5 gallons, which means you have to take quite a quick shower. It's definitely not super enjoyable, but it does the job. So if you can take a shower in less than like 2 minutes, then this is your guy. Then we just have some nice plants for decoration, and we keep our composting bin next to the composting toilet, so we put like all our fruits and veggies in there that we need. And we have a light in here. It's a separate light. We actually never use the separate light because it's so light in here, but whenever we have guests over, they're like, where's the light? I think people are just used to doing that when they go into a bathroom. So it's a nice option to have. And then we have this FRP board back here. It's just really slick, and you can easily wipe off stuff and clean it off. It like dries instantly. And then we have this Nautilus shower sliding door. So it fully closes. We're not using a curtain or anything like that. And what's cool is it kind of dries itself off and cleans itself off after a shower. Sam literally took a shower right before this, and you really can't see any water, so we really like that. So this right here is what we call our nightstand, but it's pretty much just like a dresser and extra countertop space. So if we wanted to, we could like cut up fruits and veggies here and then also cook over there. And it's kind of a catch-all. When we have extra groceries, we put them here. But this is our fruit basket. We pretty much immediately stopped using a fruit hammock. After we saw van tours, a lot of people were using fruit hammocks, but it really just like slaps your fruit and vegetables on the wall. So we got this awesome fruit and vegetable basket, and then we just like collect our Polaroids and some of our memories here, put our hat here, and then like I said, we have a frameless shower, so you have to put your plumbing tube somewhere. So we created this little false wall situation here, and we put some nice trim around it so you can't even tell. But then if we need to access our plumbing for any reason, we could just easily unscrew it. We haven't had to use that yet, but it's definitely a nice option. And this is the same countertop as the kitchen. And then in here is just a dresser. It's a ton of extra stuff. In the top section is a mini vacuum and some of more clothes and things like that. And then all along the side is like a medicine cabinet, our camera gear, a toaster oven, and things like that. So it's a great place for extra storage while still making the van feel pretty open and not putting in a closet.
So now we're going to talk about the back of the van and get a little bit more technical. Right in this cabinet right here. So this has the light for the bathroom, our water pump, our water meter so we know how much water we have, our fan for the compost toilet, and we have an electric ball valve for the gray water tank under the kitchen, so you can just flip the switch and the water will dump. So in this cabinet is our electrical section. So we have our Victron battery meter. We have our digital multi-control for our inverter. We have a 3000 watt inverter, so you can just turn it on like this and the inverter turns on. And back here behind this is our 12 volt fuse box. So you can see everything back here. We also have our switch for our WeBoost on top. For our battery system, we have a 3000 watt inverter. We have 300 amp hours of lithium battery. We have alternator charging, and we also have 400 watts of solar on the roof. And we also have shore power, but we haven't needed to use that yet. Lithium's pretty good. So in these cabinets is where I keep my storage. So I have like, socks, underwear, all the general stuff that people wear. And then Kelly has these three. And then we also have a light right here that's just for the back. So at night, if we just want to have just the back light on, we can have that one on, which is good. But to be honest, these lights are a little bit too LED for us. So we got these bulbs off Amazon and we love them. It makes it a lot more nice and relaxing in here. We have an outlet right here for 120 volts so we can charge our laptops when we're working, because we do have a Lagoon table mount that we store under here. In this section, this is what we call the platform. We raised it up 6 inches so we can have storage for our shoes and stuff. So the plumbing runs through the platform all the way around. So it was a great place to hide the plumbing wires as well as, have a lot of great storage. I do feel like we have enough clothes storage. I wish these were a little bigger just for like jackets and stuff. We built this in California in the summer and we were basically wearing shorts and t-shirts every day. So we didn't really think about the winter, but now that we're in winter weather, I definitely wish we had a little bit more storage for jackets and stuff, but overall, I definitely think it's enough storage. We wanted to make sure that we had an area to hang out when we're in the van because we do spend a lot of time in here. So it is a dinette set that you can convert into the bed. So back here we have our table. I just keep on slats right there. That actually fits on these little slats right here, and it forms a full-size bed. It's actually in between a queen and a king. So it's actually the biggest bed that we've ever had. Honestly, it's really not that bad to change it. I definitely thought that I'd be super lazy and that we would be leaving in bed mode all the time, but it's so cluttered and it makes the van feel super tight when you're not in bed mode. So I'm really happy that we have this ability. It's kind of like a daily routine. Like my favorite part of the day is to take the bed apart and then you can just lounge and just relax and it's great. So my favorite part back here is that we found a place for our laundry and our bedding. So we've seen people like stuff bedding into cabinets and stuff, and then they have like a very tiny laundry chute. Our bedding and everything and our laundry is in this section. So you basically slide this out and you've got bedding on one side and laundry on the other. So we can go like a week and a half, 2 weeks without actually having to do laundry, which I think is the best because I hate doing laundry. In this section is our plumbing. So we have 33 gallons of fresh water, and we also have an outdoor shower hookup out here, as well as a shower in there, so we have 2 ways to shower. And then in this section is our electrical. So we like to keep them separate, and they're also, you don't ever really need to access them that much, so we keep them in here. We've seen people keep them like under the kitchen or under the sink and stuff, but we like to keep everything right here. And we usually have water for about 3 to 5 days before we need to fill up. If we were ever to do another build, I would make these benches longer because we built these 21 inches out. When the cushions on the back are 6 inches, you really only have like a foot of space to sit down and lounge. So I definitely would make this longer out here and a skinnier section down here, just so it'd be more comfortable to hang out. So here's the back of the van. This is our garage. So we built these slats so we can have the table be kind of like hidden back here because we don't use the table that often. We really only use it when we're having to do some work. So it's nice to really just keep this away and open up the space when we're not using it. We have a shore power outlet right here if we ever need to. We have not needed to yet, but it is nice that we have that option. Right here is our plumbing section. We have a outdoor shower hookup with hot and cold water, which is nice. And then right here is our switch for the hot water heater. Because if you want to have hot water, it really sucks your battery dry. So you want to make sure that it's off when you're not using it, when your inverter's on. And right here is how we fill up our water. It's just a ball valve, pretty simple. And we kept these panels on because it was just such great storage. This is where our outdoor shower hose is. This is where our hose is to fill up water. It's 50-foot expandable hose. It's working great for us so far. We added a side ladder from Flatline. It was a little bit more affordable than a Luminous, so we ended up going that way, and it's been working great for us. It was literally a super easy install. Definitely recommend that. And we also installed KO2 all-terrain tires, and it's been really helpful because we've been doing a lot of off-road driving. And since this is not four-wheel drive, we want to make sure we gave ourselves the best opportunity to get out of like mud and stuff, and it's been doing really good for us. We definitely recommend the KO2s. So honestly, I was a little concerned when we were about to be done with the build, because like, you know, what if we don't like it? You know, like we just spent 10 months building, a lot of tears. I got a couple gray hairs that she plucked out, so we're all good, you know? And I was definitely like, oh, like, will we even like this? And we kind of settled in pretty quickly. After about a week or two, I felt very comfortable in the van, and honestly, I could see us being in here for kind of indefinitely. I don't really, it's kind of the perfect lifestyle for us. It's the most comfortable bed we've ever had, the biggest bed we've ever had. We get to spend quality time with our dog.
But yeah, I think it allows us to have the lifestyle that we've always dreamed of. We don't have to work as many hours as we used to, and we can travel and enjoy our lives while we can now. We can foster now. We couldn't in our apartment. It's also better for our dog because he gets to be around us all the time and he has separation anxiety. And like, we are from California and the housing market is insane. Like, we could have kept working at the level that we were for 10 more years and maybe still not be able to afford an actual house. And for us, this is to a T, like everything we would want in a house. We have a shower, we have a toilet, we have an outdoor shower, we have a bed, a couch, like it's just everything that we could want. And like style wise, it's how we would style an apartment or a house.
Yeah.
So it's just like the perfect lifestyle for us. People always ask us like, how much longer are you gonna do this? And I just don't see an end in sight.
Neither do I. It's just perfect.
Yeah.
Being on the road is definitely for us.
It's not for everyone.
No, definitely not for everyone.
Yeah.
But it's for us. And we really love this lifestyle.
If you want to check out our Instagram, it's at Sam and Kelly's Van. It's pretty simple.
Same with YouTube as well.
And you get to see more of the dogs.
Thank you, Tiny Home Tours, for checking out our van. This was just such a big project for us, and we're so happy to be living in here and to be, you know, sharing our experiences with everybody.
Yeah, I'm really proud of what we built in this van and the lifestyle that we've created. So I hope you guys all like it.
Yeah. And if you're guys thinking about taking the plunge and hitting the road, I definitely recommend doing it.
For sure.
In any capacity.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be in a big van.
Yeah, it could be in a, you know, Prius. We don't care.
Yeah.